Joining me on the phone, I have nutritional biochemist and sports nutritionist Dr. Sean Talbott. He'll be presenting a free lecture this evening at the Prospector Theater on Sidewinder Drive beginning at 7 o'clock. He's written a new book called Deadly Antioxidants, and he's joining me now to give us a little preview of that lecture this evening. Good morning to you, Dr. Talbott.
Hey, good morning, Lynn. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for joining us. So it's interesting that the title of your book, very catchy, is Deadly Antioxidants. Of course, we've been told for a long time that antioxidants are what we want and need. Tell us your twist on it.
Right, exactly. And, the title of the book is meant to be it's meant to be a little bit provocative, to get people to say, well, wait a minute, I thought these antioxidants were good. How in the world can it be deadly? And, what we're finding out now is that, antioxidants are still good. I'm a nutritionist. I want people to eat their brightly colored fruits and vegetables and things like that. But where the deadly part comes in is with all these high-dose, isolated synthetic supplements that people are just gobbling down. There's very good research. It's been coming out in dribs and drabs over the last 10 years or so, but now the weight of the evidence is clear that if you're supplementing with high doses of vitamin E and vitamin C and beta-carotene and selenium, and the list goes on, you're not only not protecting your body like you think you are, you're actually causing damage. And so there's good research to show beta-carotene high doses linked to more lung cancer, and vitamin C and more prostate cancer, and different vitamin pills and more skin cancer, et cetera. So, the weight of the evidence is so much now that we really want people to realize, hey, wait, you probably should stop taking these high-dose supplements because they're hurting you. They're not helping you.
Yeah, there really is so much conflicting information out there. I mean, on the one hand, in recent years, something like vitamin D, that's the thing that we just can't get through our diets. We only get through the sun, but we cover up in the winter and we wear sunscreen. So we must take mega doses of vitamin D. Is that something that you would also debunk?
Yeah, well, vitamin D is right now, if you look at the weight of the evidence, again, not just isolated one study here and there, the weight of the evidence on D is actually saying to us that we're clearly deficient. So who knows? 10 years down the line, are we going to have studies that say, "Oops, we overdid it," like what we've done with the antioxidant thing? And I'm as guilty of this as lots of nutritionists. The early data clearly showed, look, these antioxidants are good for us. That must mean, we made the mistake that a lot of people make and say, well, if a little bit is good, a lot more must be better. And what we're finding is that a lot more is worse. And so really it gets back to this idea of balance where we want to have enough but not too much. So too little is bad for us in certain ways, but now we know that clearly too much is bad for us in other ways. And so we're really trying to educate people about going back to the center, back to that balance point. And one of the things that I think is kind of interesting with some of the newer research that's coming out is that if we look at, the quote-unquote healthy fruits and vegetables, things like broccoli and garlic and onions and things like that, they seem to be healthy not because they're antioxidants in and of themselves, but because they have compounds that encourage the body to make its own internal antioxidants. So that really seems to be where the research is going, to say, look, these small amounts of these bioactive chemicals in these foods are turning on the body's ability to protect itself, and that's probably why these fruits and vegetables are healthy or healthful for us. And so that's where we're going to educate people to go back to a more of a balanced approach to either their diets or supplementation. If you're going to supplement, don't do it at these mega dose levels.
Right. So, we've been told that antioxidants are so wonderful for us. We've also been told that, if we eat correctly, the right things, we should be getting all of our nutrients from our diet. However, then the whole question of the diminished nutrients in our food, unless we're eating purely organic. Talk about that, if you would.
Yeah, and that's a really tough place to be. It's one thing for a nutritionist like me to stand on stage tonight and say, what you need to do? You need to eat 5 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and you need to eat lean proteins, and you need to eat organic whenever you can, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It gets to be very difficult for people to do. I'm a professional nutritionist, and it's hard for me to do. So that's where I think the supplementation piece comes in. I want people to eat those 5 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, but if you're not able to get fresh all the time, if you're not able to get organic, if you're not able to get local, which is probably even better than, any of the options that are out there, then you have to say to yourself, well, is it better for me to sort of fill the gap with an herbal supplement? Is it better for me to fill the gap rather than have that gap? And I'm an advocate of supplements when there's good data to show, okay, it does make good sense here. If we can give somebody something and actually measure something. A lot of the work that I do is looking at the biochemistry of behavior. So I'll look at things like antioxidants and I'll say, all right, can we measure a change? Can we measure somebody at point A and they have a certain level of oxidative damage or cellular stress in their bodies? And then if we can do an intervention and see if they have lower levels, and therefore if they're more protected, they're healthier, their bodies will perform better. There's all kinds of ways we can tease that out. And that's a lot about what I'm going to talk about tonight. So I think it's doable for people. I still want people to eat as well as they can. That's food first is definitely the message I want to get across. But when you can't do that because of access, because of price, because of time of year, because of hectic lifestyles, whatever it is, the supplements are to fill the gap. They're not the first step in the puzzle.
Okay, so we'll leave some of the secrets for this evening. How you create your own antioxidants. That's the big thing, I think, about your talk. You'll be speaking at, again, the Prospector Theater on Sidewinder Drive, beginning at, 6:45 is when people should show up. You'll start at 7. The lecture will last about an hour. Is that right?
That's right, exactly.
Okay. And you have established quite a bit of credibility for yourself, especially in a community like Park City where there are a lot of fit people. You were somehow voted the 2014 fittest CEO in America. So talk about that.
Yeah, that was a tough competition. Like, one of the things I try to do is practice what I preach. So I do try to eat as well as I can, but I do enjoy the occasional chocolate chip cookie here and there. I'm sitting here drinking a nice big cup of coffee as we're talking. But the fittest CEO competition is something that it last year, 2013, it happened in Tennessee, and I came in second. This year, 2014, it happened in Vermont, and I was able to come one position higher first. So yeah, I guess I'm the fittest CEO, or I'm a chief science officer, so CXO. In America, and what it is it's a group of C-level executives from around the country that come in together and do 3 days of competitions, and it's a little bit of swimming, a little bit of bike riding, a little bit of running, a little bit of obstacle course racing. It's all kinds of things to judge your fitness on all these different levels, and this year I won it it was a squeaker. It was just by a couple of points, but first is first, so I'll take the win.
You'll take that. Great. Also, Michelle Obama has consulted with you for your nutritional background and everything you do.
Yeah, I produced a documentary a few years ago. 2008 it came out about the obesity epidemic in America. And it's called Killer at Large. People can watch it on, Amazon or Netflix or buy the DVD, whatever the case may be. We did sort of a mini screening right before Sundance in 2007, I believe. And so it came out in 2008, went around the film festival circuit and won a bunch of best documentary awards, and that was fantastic. But really where I think it made its impact is people started using it they would screen it in their communities as ways to mobilize people to do farmers markets or to do walking paths or to do physical education classes at schools when they were under budget cuts. And, that kind of work, really, we made the film as a platform for people to say, look, we need to do something in our local community. And the Obama administration somehow got a copy of it and watched it. And Michelle Obama has a huge anti-childhood obesity initiative called Let's Move. And, they saw the film and invited me to the White House to talk about one aspect of the program, which specifically was to get chefs in different localities around the country to try to teach people how to prepare food in a healthy way. So it really is a constellation of, local grassroots efforts, chefs teaching people how to cook, people encouraging others to get physically active. It's one of those things where there's no one solution, and even though it's an Obama administration thing, it's not like the government is going to solve this problem for us. I think it's a problem that needs to be solved literally school by school by school, town by town by town, all across the country. And we're starting to see good effects of that. So I was very happy to be part of the program.
Okay. Well, Dr. Sean Talbott will be speaking this evening again at the Prospector Theater on Sidewinder Drive beginning at 7 o'clock. It's a free lecture, and his new book, Deadly Antioxidants, he'll be talking about all that and more. Dr. Talbott, thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure, Lynn. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Have a nice
Bye
day.
now.